Auto Show. We got a fantastic show planned this morning, and I am Aaron Clements.
I'm John Ryan.
And we are ready to go. We are both here because we would love to share information with you, and our goal is to give you information that will make your car, truck, or SUV safer, to make it more dependable, and to make it last longer for less money and less hassle. We have several different methods to do that, and our number one is
Telephone.
the telephone. We love it when you pick up that phone and dial our number, give us a call, and it gives us a chance to join your life just for a short. That's deep, John.
That could be a good thing and a bad thing.
Yeah, this could be bad. You may not want that to happen, but anyway, it will. If you pick up that phone, give us a call. And again, that number is 706-863-5800. You can also watch us live on Facebook, and that is at the C&C Auto Show on Facebook. Do me a big favor. Don't look at the Halloween tip as far as safety.
Tip.
Or the car care minute. I did that as a safety type deal.
Yeah.
And it's up there, but if you see something that says that, don't look at it, please.
Just go on by.
Yeah, just go on by there. It
has your best interest.
I'll never be the same to you. No, I do a lot of things for safety. I'm the safety manager here. So I do a lot of things like that. Now, you can also watch past shows on YouTube.
Mention why you're the safety.
Yeah.
Mention why you're always worried about safety.
Because I've been to the emergency room a lot more than anyone else. They know me there.
That's right.
So you can watch past shows on YouTube. Also, you can put a question on Facebook. If you want to, if you have a question you'd like to ask, you can post it on Facebook. Sherry will read the question to us, and we will answer it. That way, if you're in a hurry and you just want to post a question real quick and take off.
A topic.
Yeah, or a topic if you want to hear a little bit more about. You give us a call. Now, the other thing that's very important to know is because this show is also powered by Napa Auto Care.
That's right.
Which is a fantastic group of shops around the country that share a lot, and the thing that they share is good quality automotive repair service. A lot of fantastic shops. But if you want to find one of those shops, you can go to NapaAutoCare.com, and that's if you're looking for a shop in your area, or if you are out on the road and have some type of problem and you need to find a really good shop, you can do that. We had our producer do that very same thing very recently. One of his children were out of town. They had an issue. He was able to contact the Napa Auto Care Center, and they were able to help him a great deal. He may even tell us a little bit about that a little later. Okay, now, along with answering those automotive questions, we always like to have a theme.
What is it?
Well, the theme today. Now, in past shows, we have talked a little bit about buying a car.
That's right.
And, of course, buying a car, we get a lot of great tips coming from for instance, places like Philip Hawkins Motor Company. They're a show sponsor, and they're wonderful people, and they're a great place to go buy a car. But very seldom do we actually talk about selling your car.
That's right, yeah.
And there comes a time to where your needs change. Mm-hmm. You might have a car, need a truck, or have a truck, need a car.
Yep.
Or
a car, need a van.
You might have added a family member and have a Miata right now.
Yeah.
So you need something bigger. So there comes a time you want to sell your car. So when that time comes, I think it's good to have those tips in the back of your mind. Or you might be doing it now and need to write these down as the show goes on.
Yep.
So during the show, we'll be talking about things that you can do when you're selling your car to make the selling process easier and more financially rewarding to you. I think that sounded good.
Sounded good. Somebody must have wrote that for you.
They did. They put it down for you. Okay, now, we also want to say thank you to all those that tuned in, logged in, and also thank you in advance for all those that call in. And we appreciate it very much. And we are, the thing that we always do this time of the show, and actually we do this a little bit earlier.
Yeah.
Is John Ryan turns the key and fires the show up.
I actually have the key this time.
Oh, you do?
Go ahead. How about it?
I like it. Let's turn the key. Are we ready?
Sure.
All right, here we go. Man, that joker sounds good.
Yeah,
that sounds like one of those diesels that they put head jobs on very recently.
No, that one cranked up.
Okay, now the next thing that we always do right after we crank the show up is we always have a tech tip quiz, and we do have a tech tip quiz. And of course, the winner they'll win things like coffee cups, hats, and some other items that send this bag with it. But the other thing that they always have is they win is the I answered the tech tip quiz golf shirt. And this is an absolutely beautiful shirt. It gives you just huge amounts of power. I mean, huge. It's unbelievable. Your life will be changed
That's right.
when you put this shirt on. All right, here is the question, and if you call in, you could be a winner. Cindy decided it was time to sell her 2005 Nissan Sentra. The front brakes were bad, the belt was bad, the transmission fluid was dirty, the paint was faded, and the hood on the driver's side, no, the paint was faded on the hood, and the driver's seat had a hole in it. It was just kind of worn in there. You know
Yeah.
how they get all kind of fuzzy right at the edge?
Fuzzy.
Yeah, fuzzy. That's what was wrong with it. Now, before selling the car, she spent almost $1,500 getting it ready to sell. Spending that money brought her back over $5,000.
Dang.
How did spending $1,500 save her over $5,000?
All right.
That is the question that we are answering now.
All right.
All right, and John Ryan, we are ready to go to a few tips having to do with selling cars.
All right. What you got?
All right, number one, consider the environment or the weather conditions when you're selling your car.
Okay.
What type car are you selling?
So, like, you're not going to want to sell a convertible in the middle of winter.
Exactly. Yeah, things
Aim
along
for
those
just
lines,
before summer.
especially if you have some type of specialty vehicle.
Right.
If you have a motorcycle, you probably wouldn't want to put it up for sale in February.
Yeah. That's
You
right.
just wouldn't get the
Wouldn't
same.
be a good Christmas gift.
Yeah, wouldn't be the same. And the same way with, like you mentioned, a convertible. A convertible, you can in the springtime or in the fall,
Right.
you can sell it, and then the person that buys it when it gets really cold outside, and in the wintertime, they'll be saying, "Why in the world did I do this?"
Exactly. Yep. For sure.
And so that's one of the things that you want to consider when buying it. You also want to negotiate the best selling price, not based on exactly what the book says. Let's say that if you're looking at what do you normally go to when you're looking at to sell a car to find out what it's worth?
The two common ones I go to are the NADA and then Kelly BB or Kelly Blue Book.
Yeah, and those are good to look at,
Yeah.
and it kind of gives you a starting point. But what you want to do is also look at what the cars are selling for in your area.
Yeah, locally.
Real live type stuff. And a lot of times you can just put that type vehicle in a search
That's right.
and look at things like on Craigslist, and you can look at different Auto Trader, different things that you can look at that people are actually selling vehicles exactly like that one that you're talking about,
Exactly.
and you'll get a more real life world of what the cars are
Yeah,
selling for
What the
when you're
market
doing
is
that.
for them.
So coming up with your price is one of the main things that you want to do of what you plan to sell the vehicle for.
Yeah.
And you don't want to be overpriced, but you also don't want to be underpriced either, because you also want to leave yourself room for some negotiations
Yeah,
when you
that's
sell
right.
that.
Nobody ever pays the asking price.
Exactly. And so in most cases, people will you'll mark the price up just a little bit above what you normally have. Okay, we're going to need to take a real quick break. And when we return, we'll have more tips on selling your vehicle. We'll be answering those automotive questions. And we also have a tech tip quiz laying on the table. And, of course, the winner will win the I Answered the Tech Tip Quiz golf shirt. And we will be right back just after this.
y'all up.
She's real fine, my 409. She's real fine, my 409, my 409. Well, I saved my pennies and I saved my dimes.
And welcome back to the C&C Auto Show, and we will go straight to the callers.
All right, you ready? Let's go
I'm
with
ready.
Tony.
Hello, Tony, and welcome to the C&C Auto Show.
Good morning. How you doing?
We are doing very well, and what could we help you with today?
Well, I have a question about my 2007 GMC Sierra 1500 pickup. I have, for a while now, I've developed a hard shift in it, and it's very sporadic. Doesn't do it all the time. It might go a week or two without doing it, and then for just any apparent reason, it'll have this hard shift. But the shift is always the up shift, not a down shift. And what will happen is it's usually the first shift after I start off, and I mean the shift is so hard that actually a few times I've thought somebody has run into the back of it. That's how hard the shift is. And then after that, you can drive and it shifts fine.
Tony, that shift, is it at relatively slow speeds, like, say, obviously under 20, 30 miles an hour?
Yeah. It's like I said, it's usually the first shift after I start off. I mean, and it doesn't really have a pattern to it. I've tried to make it do it, and I can't.
Well, Tony, what you may be able to do also, though, is actually sue your truck for whiplash.
That'd do it.
Yeah, your truck's insurance company, rather.
I tell you what, sometimes it feels like it wants to almost give you a whiplash. But like I said, it doesn't really have a pattern to it. It might do it once a week, or it might do it every couple of days.
That sounds like I'm going to throw something out, and I'm going to let John Ryan fine-tune this.
All right.
I'm gonna just give the abstract version.
Can I correct it if it's wrong?
You can correct it, but you can take it and run with it.
All right, what you got?
I'm thinking of two different issues.
Okay.
One, what if it had something to do with his mass airflow sensor?
Okay, yeah.
Sensing a different load condition on the vehicle. Tony, what I'm wondering, if when your vehicle is just kind of going in a straight, normal position, that the computer thinks that actually you're going up a steep hill under a load, and it might increase the pressure inside the transmission on the converter and go, just grab and go. That's one. And the other might have to do with the pressure solenoid inside the transmission.
That's very true.
What do you think, John Ryan?
I'm going for the first one myself, just because we've seen quite a few issues like that, just like he's describing, a real intermittent hard shift, especially under that same type scenario where you're going pretty slow and it'll just about rip a Coke out of the cup holder when it shifts.
I mean, it's very, very hard shift.
Right, and because it's so intermittent, the car's computer's not necessarily not smart enough, but it doesn't catch that fault, so it doesn't normally set a trouble code. A lot of things that a technician would look at on that is all the input sensors that actually determine what that transmission does. Just like Aaron, the mass airflow is one of the most important ones, because that's what measures the load, whether you're hauling a boat, which would require a lot of throttle pressure, versus just kind of tooling through the neighborhood. So I'm
tooling through the neighborhood.
Yeah.
I never heard that.
That's a new one for you.
Oh, I like it though. Okay.
But that is the same thing that I would agree. No doubt there's some other things, as far as if it had a lot of mileage, a transmission service could go a long ways on that. But I don't think that's the root of the problem. I think it's going to be more of a input to the car's computer making it do that. I don't necessarily think there's anything wrong with the transmission. I think the vehicle thinks, just like Aaron mentioned, it's doing something that it's actually not.
And Tony, this is really wild, but I have seen people just automatically think that it's their transmission is bad, and they will take the vehicle somewhere and just say, I need a new transmission. Won't ask them to diagnose anything, and they'll just have a new transmission put in the car, and then they'll drive off with the same thing.
What gets better than that, though? They put another one in it. 'Cause
Yeah,
that
put a
one's bad.
second one in and say that transmission had to be bad, and I still have a problem. So the reason I say that part is that even if you have something that you feel like it is most likely the transmission acting up on a vehicle, and
Right.
this relates to a lot of other concerns also, go ahead and have that diagnostic test run. It might cost a little bit of money to have the test run.
But it could save a lot
Yeah,
more
it could
too.
save you a lot of money. Now, in this case, the way I look at it, we just saved you about $3,000, and I think you
Wow,
owe
I
us some
appreciate
kind of
that.
shirt or something.
I appreciate that. But so there is a way of doing a diagnostic on that.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
I'm saying transmission, but like I say, it may not even be the transmission.
Right, yeah,
Yes.
that truck actually has a TCM, which stands for Trans Control Module, and it's a smart transmission. So there's a lot of diagnostic capabilities with that transmission.
And I'm gonna mention one other thing, Tony. If that mass airflow sensor has buildup on it, high probability you have carbon in the rest of the engine, intake manifold, top of the pistons, top of the valves. Your O2 sensor is probably a little weak and sluggish also. A BG service, induction service, goes a long way toward going in and just cleaning all of that stuff out of there, like flushing it out. It's what we used to have it do a whole valve job for, but only you can do it chemically, get all that stuff cleaned out, and that'll make it run beautiful also. So
Oh, okay.
that's a great service, and included in that service, we normally always clean that mass air, and we always also reset those strategies that
Yeah,
need
all
to
the
be
fuel
reset
trims and
also.
everything.
Matter of fact, you may
Oh.
even save diagnostic time by saying, well, it's never been done. I'll do that first, and then if I still have the issue, then do the diagnostics.
Right. Okay. Well, I appreciate that, and like I said, this wouldn't be nothing that you would have to break the transmission down or nothing
No,
like that. It would, yeah,
No, the mass
diagnostic.
airflow sensor is actually a part of the computer. Picture it as being kind of what a modulator valve used to do on an old transmission, where the little vacuum line went to it,
Right.
and it sensed the load of the engine.
Yeah, Tony,
Well,
this sensor's right behind the air cleaner.
Yeah, and it does it electronically.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, that sounds good then. I appreciate that.
Man, we appreciate your call. That was a fantastic question. We really do appreciate it.
Okay, and I was going to try the tech tip quiz. Good.
Wait, can you hold on just for a second or two?
Yes.
Yeah, because we're going to need to take a real quick break, but we would love for you to do it. Now, we're going to put you on stage as soon as you get back in. All right, hold on. Okay, the number to call, 706-863-5800. We'll be answering more automotive questions, and we will also have more tips on selling your car. And we will also have, who is that? Tony.
Yeah, we have
will
Charles
be
and Eddie, too.
taking a shot at our tech tip quiz just as soon as we return with the C&C Auto Show.
Smiths and John Ryan Mooney.
Yup.
The seat and stretch my feet out to the pedals, smiling like a hero that just received his medal. It was just an old hand-me-down Ford with 3-speed on the column and a dent in the door.
And welcome back to the C&C Auto Show. And we recommend having a vehicle history report to show it to the buyer. Let's say that if you're selling the car and you know the car's got a clean report, go ahead and have it available for the person, a Carfax
feature,
and show it right off the bat. And that'll take a lot of research that the other person has to do, and they'll already have the report, and it'll be well worth the money you spend. Okay, the number to call, 706-863-5800. John Ryan,
we're going back to Tony.
Yeah, we're going back to Tony.
All right.
Hey, Tony.
Yes.
You mentioned before we took the break that you may have an answer to our Tech Tip quiz.
Right.
Okay.
Thank you.
We need to put you. Yep, you're on stage. Blue has blown his horn, and we are now ready for you.
All right. If I remember correctly, it had
Aaron, why
some
don't you
problems.
read the question real quick?
Oh yeah, I'll just I'll do the question again really quick, and here we go. All right, real quick. Cindy decided it was time to sell her 2005 Nissan Sentra. The front brakes were bad, the belt was bad, the transmission fluid was dirty, the paint was faded on the hood, and the driver's seat had a hole worn in it. Wasn't there a song or something about it? Okay, before selling the car, she spent almost $1,500 getting it ready to sell. Spending that money brought her back over $5,000. How did spending $1,500 save her over $5,000?
Well, what I'm thinking is, after she had all this work done to her vehicle to get it ready to sell, she decided not to sell it, so therefore she saved money that she would have spent buying another vehicle.
Tony, man, I'm going to tell you, today is your day. I mean, we solved your transmission issue with a minor repair on one phone call, and then you go on hold for about 4 minutes, and you come back, and you win just the huge prizes. I mean, it's absolutely amazing. Man, you have.
I probably need to go buy a lottery ticket also.
Oh, you have to.
I get 2 of them.
Well, if you just go ahead and put the shirt on and you walk in there, they'll give you the lottery ticket, and it's probably going to be a winning ticket. I mean, this is the thing, man.
I mean to tell you.
Okay, Tony, you are absolutely right. After she repaired the items that were bothering her, she decided not to sell the car. She drove it another 3 years, counting the extra resale value of a different car, which when you buy the car, and you do have something more to sell at the end of those 3 years. But so we factored that in. And also you got to figure that keeping your existing car, you're going to spend a little bit more on repairs than you would have otherwise. So that was factored in. But also you're going to save some money by not having to have full coverage insurance in many cases.
That's right.
So all that was factored in. But with all that stuff, she saved about $5,000. And that's huge.
So
and Tony,
like
what you have won is worth way more than that. I mean, way more. Tony,
I'm sure it's worth at least $5,000.
Oh, at least, and you'll be getting phone calls from all your relatives and acting like and all people you hadn't seen in 5 years. So congratulations! If you'll stay on the line, they'll be picking up and get your information on how to receive your Tech Tip quiz prizes.
Okay, I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Thank you for the calls, Tony. Okay, where are we going?
All right, Aaron, we're going to go to Eddie.
And you notice I said calls because actually we can classify that as 2 calls. Before the break, after. Okay, Eddie.
Good morning.
Welcome to the C&C Auto Show, and what can we help you with today?
Well, I have a question on my truck, but I was going to answer the Tech Tip quiz, but Tony beat me to it.
Well, what was that the same answer? Did you have the right answer?
That was the same answer,
Sure.
because I've run across that myself. But once you fix something, you decide, well, I'll just drive it a little bit further. But,
Well, and the reason that was the whole idea of the tech tip quiz. So many times people have a hole worn in a seat, and they'll say, "Oh, I hate that," and then they'll have a little something, let's say a paint faded, and then somebody will say, "Well, you need front brakes and you need a belt." Minor things, but they'll say, "Oh, I just don't want to spend any money on that car," and it turns out just you can. There's upholstery
That's true.
shops out there that can repair things like that for $200 or $300. And there's paint shops that could paint just the hood instead of having to paint the whole car.
Yep.
There's a lot of minor things, and you can even do things like get little pinstripes and put on it to dress it up.
Doll it up.
Yeah, and let's say that you want a different car, you could just buy the emblem of another car and put the other emblem on there, and you're fine.
Because they all look alike.
Yeah, so there's things that you can do to kind of dress it up, and a lot of times when you do that, it may make all the difference in the world on how you feel
why you
about it.
drive a Toyota Prius Corvette?
Yeah, I got a Corvette sticker on the front of the Prius. It don't go quite as fast, though. Eddie, what can we help with?
What I got a 93 Nissan pickup with the 2.4. I don't know if it's the KEA or K something like that engine in it. It's got 160,000 miles on it. At 123,000, I put in a new timing chain, guides, and everything. But now it's the chain rattles real bad on initial startup, and I was told that the tensioner in that particular engine is operated by oil pressure.
Yeah, that's correct.
And since it does have an external oil pump, do you think maybe with that many miles on it, putting a new pump on it might help it?
Eddie, I think that's a great question. When you did the timing chain, did you put a tensioner on it at that point?
Oh, yeah. I got the whole thing from Nissan,
Okay.
everything.
Very good, very good.
To redo it, yeah.
Right. So no doubt an oil pump may be the fix for that. I'll tell you how a technician would typically find out whether or not it would or not. What they would do is install a mechanical oil pressure gauge where the oil sending unit is located on that vehicle.
Yes.
And of course, they would wait till it was very cold, just like you said, just one morning. And they would crank it up and see how fast it builds oil pressure. For instance, if it built oil pressure immediately and you still had the chain rattle, you would know that it's more like a tensioner type problem. So that would be the biggest thing as far as determining if the oil pump would fix it. Like you said, it's got some miles on it. The oil pump is external. I'm not going to say it's easy to replace, but it's definitely achievable. If you like fixing them yourself, it may be the best thing for you to do, in the next step, because it very well, I can tell you from experience, yes, that normally does take care of it. Now, with that being said, that's if the tensioner has been replaced before.
Yeah, well, it had, but I had thought about putting an oil pressure gauge on it to see, but I mean, it takes about 2 to 3 seconds for the light to go out inside once you crank it up. Now, once the light goes out, the rattling stops.
Yeah, I feel like an oil pump would very well take care of that problem, just like you described. If it's taken a second or two to prime up, and then of course then the rattle goes away, sounds like the oil pump's just getting a little weak. It's not pumping up as fast as it once did, and that would.
Plus, there's a check valve in that pump that might help it hold some of the initial pressure on there in the beginning.
Right.
That may help also.
Okay. Well, I just I do 95% of the work to the truck myself anyway.
Uh-huh.
But I just thought I would call and get y'all's opinion on this before I go do something like that.
Before you dive into it.
Yep.
Yeah.
John Ryan, that's not that oil pump that has to be timed or anything, is it? Okay, good. All right. Sounds good.
I think it runs off the distributor.
Yes,
yeah.
sure
There's one model and I think it was a much older model that had to be timed, and they were a pain. But if that one does not have to be timed, then you're going to be in good shape.
That's right.
Yeah. I know yesterday I had one of those little bypass hoses underneath the intake.
Oh, those are not fun.
Got a pinhole in it, and I had to practically disassemble the engine just to get to it.
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
But that's part of an old truck, but I wouldn't take nothing for it. It's a great truck. And
that little pinhole, you just wanted to screw in a drywall screw there, didn't you? That'd stop the leak. Eddie, we appreciate it.
All right. Well, listen, I appreciate the information, and I'll probably end up doing that.
Absolutely.
All right.
All right.
We do appreciate the
Thank
call.
y'all.
And the number to call, 706-863-5800. And John Ryan, who will we be talking to now?
Looks like Charles.
Perfect. Charles, welcome to the C&C Auto Show.
Hey, good morning, Mr. Haven and Mr. John Ryan. How y'all doing this morning?
Doing good, Charles, and good morning to you.
Good. All y'all technicians down there running the show, and Dave back at the beautiful studios. I just was something I hadn't done lately. I hadn't been able to call y'all and give y'all high accolades for continuing to doing this show for people just like Tony who answered his problem. You made him a star. He just don't realize how big of a star he's gonna be.
Charles, you can speak from experience. You are a star.
Yeah, man.
We're running all out of time. We appreciate the kind words.
Charles, can you hold on 1 second? We'll be right back. We're going to take a real quick break.
He's on hold.
Hey, Charles. Okay, we're going to be right back just after this. We'll take a real quick break. Welcome to the C&C Auto Show. This hour is brought to you in part by your local Napa Auto Care Centers. For as far back as I can remember, Napa Auto Parts has been known as the parts supplier for the professional automotive repair shops. I remember walking into our local Napa store when I was just 13 years old. It was like a social club for technicians. We would talk to other technicians about new techniques and equipment. We knew we were buying good quality parts, and we would all get advice from the very knowledgeable people standing at the counter. Wow, those were great memories. Well, a lot has changed over the years. We now order most of our parts online, and we very seldom pick our parts up. We place the order, and they magically appear a short period of time later. We have megabytes of information at our fingertips. The name of the game is to get it done correctly but fast. But some things have stayed the same. Napa still caters to the professional shops, and they still sell good, high-quality parts. Some good things just get better. To find a Napa Auto Care Center near you, go to napaautocare.com.
It's a well-known fact that not too many things are more important to the longevity of a building than the roof, right, Aaron?
Absolutely, John Ryan. That's why when we developed a few leaks in our building many years back, I knew we needed to have them repaired. When looking for the best roofing company, I did what I normally do. I asked my friends who had similar-sized buildings. I was told that the best person to call was Larry Miller at Summers Roofing. That turned out to be a great referral because they have taken such great care of our small leaks for all these years. When it came time for a complete roof replacement, we did not hesitate to choose Summers Roofing once more. I have been thrilled with the work they've been doing, and I'm sure you will be too. They can handle even the largest commercial roofs. Give Summers Roofing a call at 706-941-2485 and tell them Aaron sent you.
Or you can visit them online at summersroofing.com.
Thank you for sharing your morning with us right here on the C&C Auto Show, hosted by Aaron Clements and John Ryan Mooney, two ASC certified master technicians who believe in helping you make your car run better and last longer while saving you money and having fun all at the same time. We'll be right back in just a couple of minutes.
Bartram Trail Golf Club, a beautiful rolling course that is not the ordinary. One of only 2 golf courses in the CSRA with Midi Verde fine-bladed ultra-dwarf Bermuda grass with 5 par 5s and 5 par 3s. So come out and play some of the best greens of the CSRA. When you are at Bartram Trail, inquire about limited number of memberships still available before it is closed out, or call 706-210-4681 today. Experience the course, wildlife, and southern hospitality at Bartram Trail Golf Club, just moments away from I-20 and Evans.
I love working with good, honest, professional people, and that's why I've been a customer. And we are back with you on the C&C Auto Show. We recommend that you take all the junk from inside the vehicle. That way, when a prospective buyer goes for a test drive, they can visualize the car as theirs. I've heard
With
that
their
same
stuff
thing
in it.
on selling houses. Okay, are we ready to go back to Charles?
Yes.
Hello, Charles. Welcome back to the C&C Auto Show. And you mentioned you got a Pontiac Grand Am with an issue. Hello,
Yes, sir.
Charles.
Yes, sir. I'm here.
All right. You got a Pontiac Trans Am with an issue.
It's the Pontiac Grand Am, the one that you've done some work on before. My question is now I'm not driving it like I was. I need to go out. I need to crank it every day or every other day or something so the battery and stuff doesn't go bad or die.
Charles, you could leave the keys in it. Somebody drive it for you.
Yeah, somebody take it and drive it.
Well, they can't drive it right now because I had to let the insurance go on it so I could pay for the insurance on this new Murano that I'm riding in.
Charles, what I would recommend doing is about every somewhere around 2 or 3 weeks, I would take the vehicle and drive it for at least up at operating temperature for about 30 minutes. Preferably drive it for a good hour or so on the road. And what a lot of people do is, let's say that they're taking they have a car that they don't drive very much. It's a good idea if they just pick that car about maybe once every couple of weeks and just do all the things that they would normally do with their primary car, and whether it's driving to work or driving on a trip or doing something, but either way, make sure it's driven for at least say 30 minutes to an hour at operating temperature. That gets the oil all warm, gets the oil running, and lets it drain back down to the bottom. Walking out and just cranking one up for like a minute or two and then cutting it back off does more harm than good, because it lets the oil pump to the top of the engine, but then it's thick and it don't go back down, and it just tends to get real gunky. And so doing it this way, the engine will still last a long time. The battery should stay charged up pretty good, and you'll be fine to do that. And also still keep your tire pressure checked and all the things that you would normally do on a vehicle, like monthly also.
Yeah. Okay. Well, see, I've never been in this situation before because I've always only just had one vehicle. Now I got this Murano, and I don't drive the Pontiac as much because, hey, this is new. That ain't.
Yeah. Now you got you a spare. If you run into any problem, a spare vehicle to drive, and that's always a good thing for people to do.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
I just wanted to continue to if I do have to get in it for some reason, like if maybe this will need services and they need to keep it overnight or something. That way I wouldn't get issues.
Exactly. That way it takes the load off as you're getting another vehicle service. Always a good thing to have.
All right. Thank you, fellas. And y'all continue to keep people upset on what they need to know, okay? Because y'all are the only show around, man.
All right. Charles, we really appreciate that very much.
All right, man. Take care.
And you do the same. Okay, the number to call, 706-863-5800. We answer automotive questions and also talking about selling vehicles. John Ryan, who will we talk to now?
All right, Aaron, let's go over to David.
Hey, David, welcome to the
morning,
C&C
guys.
Auto Show.
Good morning, guys.
Good morning. We are ready for you.
I have a 92 Nissan pickup truck. I don't know how many miles on it. The odometer doesn't work. It has a 2.4, just plain Jane 4-cylinder, not the 8-plug motor. It just died on me going down the road. I thought I'd ran out of gas, but I put like 3 gallons in there, and it still won't crank. And I've got fire going both ways from the coil and to the coil. Got fire at plugs, at the coil. Cam's turning everything, see everything working. I changed the fuel filter, and I got good pressure at the top of the filter when you turn the key on. I'm just wondering, and I opened the butterfly on the carburetor, the injector, whatever it is, and the throttle body, and I don't see any gas spraying in there though.
Okay, David. It sounds like you've definitely checked a lot of the things. It sounds like it has ignition, because you said you did mention it has ignition at the spark plugs also.
Yes, I have fire at the plugs also.
Okay.
And I have fire back at the coil. It's fire making the complete loop.
Okay. And then you said you had fuel just simply because you took the line off at the filter, correct?
Yeah, I changed the filter yesterday. I had pressure at the filter, so I went ahead and changed the filter, and then I had good pressure.
Okay.
After
Gotcha.
I changed the filter.
And as far as the engine, just before it shut down on you, did you hear any rattling or anything like that? Anything out of normal?
No, I didn't.
Because
I was going on the road about 60, 65, and it just brrrr.
And died off.
I shifted, and it just kept brrrr till it died.
Right. Those vehicles have had a lot of issues with the timing chains as far as jumping and everything. That's the reason I asked. Normally, it has a rattle type noise before that type problem has. Hopefully, that's not it. The only other thing you're going to want to find out is if there's actually injector fire. There's a few ways to do it. The best way to do it is put a Noid light in the injector there. That way you can see if the computer is triggering it. To, of course, open and close. When you look down that throttle bar, you may not see fuel just simply because the injector's below that, so you won't necessarily see fuel there. So that's going to be the next step, because after that, that would be the last step that it would need to run. And if it has that, we need to look at things like timing and as far as if it's correct or not. Because obviously you have the three main things that it takes, short of air. Obviously you have air, but short of that, you'd need to check to see if the injectors are firing.
And of course, you may be able to pull the distributor cap off and just make sure that the distributor is turning.
Well, he did say he had spark.
Oh, so if you had spark, so
it's turning. Yeah.
Got to be turning. So
okay.
Yeah.
So finding out if the injector's firing is going to be your next step.
Okay, what I need to have.
It's called a Noid light. You can rent them at most places. Of course, Napa has them for sale. They're relatively inexpensive. It's Noid, Noid light.
Okay. And you just hook it up and shine it down in the throttle body.
Well, actually, it's a light that goes into the electrical connector, and when you're spinning the vehicle over, just like a flashlight would turn on and off, if it's blinking, it's on, off, on, off, on, off every revolution that engine makes, that means that the injector is firing.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And then
or at least the computer is triggering it to fire.
Yeah, telling it to fire.
And then the next issue would be the timing.
Yes, sir, that is correct. And a good way to do that, or at least an indication, is pull number 1 up on TDC, which of course there's a mark on the balancer, and then remove the distributor cap and just make sure that of course the rotor is pointing at the number 1 lug of the distributor cap. That way it'll at least give you a good idea if it's in time, and obviously if it's over there at 4 or something like that, your timing's way off. But short of that, if it was off, you'd need to pull the valve cover and see if the timing marks are correct on the cam gear.
Okay. All right. Thank y'all very much. Y'all have a good day.
Give us a call next weekend. Let us know how it turns out.
All right. Thank you.
Thanks, David, we do appreciate the call very much. And, of course, we add to that if he wanted to, let's say that if he wasn't getting injector pulse, but he is getting spark, there's a chance. Isn't there a relay, a EEC, or a relay of some kind that triggers the computer, that lights up the computer?
I believe so. Yes.
Yeah, like a power relay or something. I don't forgot exactly what it's called on that model.
Yeah.
Okay, we are just about run out of time.
And I'm hoping Michelle will hold on to the next hour.
Yeah.
Possible.
Yeah. Let's talk her into it.
All right.
Michelle.
Hello.
Could you hold on till the next segment?
Yes, I can.
We appreciate that. Now, see, John Ryan, that was the right way to do that.
That was.
Okay, we are all out of time, and matter of fact, the time indicator is on E, and we need to pull over for now, and we'll be back on the road in no time. And I am Aaron Clements with co-host John Ryan Mooney. Our show producers are Sherry Moxley, Zach Llewellyn, Bert Dean, Bo Roberts, Alan Dean, and Sandy Klein. We would all like to say thank you to all of you that tuned in, logged in, and especially those that called in to ride with us on the C&C Auto Show, and we will see you on the next trip.